Wonderful. And then onia and videos yi. My imagine say yen twɛn ɛma abatoɔ ne nso ansa na yɛabɔ Nana Kwame Bediako ho dawuro. Mehu sɛ sesei no asɛ bebree ate ada. Ɔmo a na ɛbɔ ne ho dawuro yi nyinaa bebree ate ada. Yɛbɛtwɛn na abatoɔ no yɛbɛso a yɛasan bɛyɛ ho dedie. Yɛpɛ nsakyerɛeɛ bi wɔ ɔman no mu di a ɛwɔ sɛ ahyɛase yi a yɛhyɛ aseɛ ɛma nipa te Nana Kwame Bediako ase. Ɛsiane sɛ ntorɔ bebree na yɛaka afa papa aberanteɛ ho a mefiri sɛ nyɛ nokorɛ, ebi sɛ ɔtɔn cocaine, ebi sɛ ɔyɛ sakawa, ebi sɛ ɔyɛ sɛ daabi. Yɛntena ase mma saa nneɛma no nkɔ so. Yɛbɛyɛ yiri yɛn ho na yɛabɔ ne ho dawuro. Na ne channel no nso no, nsɛm bi a amanfoɔ de bɛto hɔ biara no, yɛn nso yɛbɛbɔ mmɔden sɛ yɛbɛtumi akyerɛkyerɛ mu ama afoforɔ nso ate aseɛ. Enti yɛntie the lead economist Emma the new force na ɔbɛka asɛm bi na mefiri sɛ ɔho hia sɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛbɛtie. Nti yɛntie no.
The lead economic analyst for the new force. Welcome to our new episode. Today, we'll be discussing a very interesting topic. There's been some debates here and there as to the need for the country to have businessmen and entrepreneurs at the helm of affairs. If you ask me which side of the argument I am, I would say I'm for it. But I am not for it just for the glamour or the beauty of it. I believe this country needs an entrepreneur, a mathematician, or an engineer at the stage that we are. We need a character that thinks in value and profits.
Sɛ mekyerɛ mu a wei deɛ menim sɛ bebree no ate borɔfo no na mmom nkɔma me maame no ne agya me papa no mu a anaa me nua no mu mpo a sɛde ɔmo nhyɛ da ɛnte borɔfo no. Meka ne saa a ɛma ne nhaw ɛsiane sɛ obi te borɔfo a ɛno nkyerɛ sɛ ɔwɔ nyansa. Yɛn na yɛbɛdi adanseɛ deɛ na odi yɛ so ansa na wei ba no. So sɛ na ɔka borɔfo no ɔka no rɛrɛrɛ nso so sɛ dɛ muhu sɛ dɛ na mɛmu nso kɔyɛyɛ no. Nti wei no deɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkyerɛ nyinaa wɔ ha ne sɛ ɔman no ɛho bɛhia sɛ yɛbɛnya obi a ɔyɛ entrepreneur. Yɛka entrepreneur a obi a ɔyɛ nnwuma anaa obi nnwuma. Yɛbɛnya saa nkɔfo no bi abɔma bɛdi yɛ so anaa. Deɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkyerɛ nyinaa no ɛna ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkyerɛ mu sɛ ɔne saafoɔ na ɔmo kasa no yɛ adwene. Ɛsiane sɛ yɛhia obi a sɛbe ɔte nneɛma ase, ɔte amamu ase. Yɛka sɛ obi te amamu ase a ɛyɛ na yɛfiri sɛ obi a ɔyɛ politician ebi obi a ɔyɛ businessman ɛte amamu ase ɛsen politician. Wotie dɛ meka no. Nti sɛ mekyerɛ deɛ ɔka kakra yi mu a obisa sɛ yɛma businessman obi a ɔdi dwa. Yes, obi a ɔdi dwa ɛbɛtena akonnwa kɛseɛ no so anaa. Ɛna me nso ne yɛ adwene ɛwɔ saa ɛfa no.
We need a character that understands that your weighted average cost of capital in any endeavor, in any venture, must always be lower than the real return. We need people who understand cause and effect. We need people who understand that things don't happen always linearly. Sometimes, and most of the times, things move logarithmically. This is what we need where we are as a nation. We need a president who is not necessarily a career politician. We need a radical thinker.
Ahanso the person or chere say in some of what can na no me bono to farmer. Ahanso the person or chere say ye hia obi a onye amanyoni obi a onye amayo. Africa ha no ana o my we no ye to aba ma obi ama na bidi so aye hwe de wo aye amanyosem ache na we di amanyosem echi ache so mo ba du kadaya o se bebi edru no ye hia obi a onye amanyosem odi nyansa ye ejuma enye amanyosem.
We need somebody who has the discipline of strategic thinking. We need somebody who is not interested in winning the next election, but has a natural proclivity to creating value, and that is just what makes him or her happy, because that's what he's trained himself in the last 3-4 decades of his life, or in his entire life. This is what we need for our leadership. Competent leadership, skilled leadership, a leadership that understands the matters at hand, a person who sees things in value and profits. The challenges that we face are not those that can be addressed by people who are trained to be politicians.
Yes. Me san kire mu a o pese o me ti ase ese ye hia obi a ote amamu ase tie ni aha se tie ni ye ehun hia se obeye obi a wo ye amanyo ansa na wate amamu ase ese amamuo na eso amanyosem obi oye amanyosem no otu abama na ode oman di agro isan se oni mamamuo munti ase sa omo aya to abama omu na ye amanyofo a omuni mamamuo we no okasa ama obi a onim amamuo na onya amanyosem na ote amamuo papa ase eho asem na oka na sisi a de okasa ohwe mu de a me madwene mu de na kwa me bedi akon and I'm a face say or you're the right person.
You see, there's the practice of politics, and then there are actionable endeavors that one must undertake to achieve real results. There are two separate things. I explained extensively in the previous episodes that we have a problem of high inflation. We have a challenge of currency depreciation. We are unable to stabilize our currency against major benchmarks. We have a problem that is, as it were, culturally and socially engineered. In previous episodes, I grouped some of the barriers and problems into mechanical and psychological. When you look at all these problems we face as a country, you definitely need somebody who understands cause and effect, somebody who appreciates that you reap exactly what you sow, somebody who thinks in value and profit. This is an entrepreneur. This is a mathematician. This is an engineer. They have been trained to think this way.
So Nimia may want to offer the hour. The person train and say, or mind how I want. Ye hear Obia Unimun Kunta Buo. Ubi Unimun Kunta Buo, any Obi Otimi can you may see me. Utimi senior ma, the cancer, I say engineer. You can engineer na emfa adwen no nkoto obi a oyɛ car and I said you can engineer obi oyɛ critical in thinking otimi twitwi nipa bo utie me otimi keka nipa bo ano ma yetimi ye bibi a ebi ni ho creative ɛno ne ade a yɛ lack e wo man we mu no yɛ lack saa nyoma no papa ti na ma man na nwe ne se no high speed railway kra yi ni bi train papa train keteke papa a betimi aboa na nka obi kwate komase a wetimi abankra be edwuma ade esa makoda bibi ye ni bi they want V8 and a people nonsense.
And if you have somebody with these combinations, the better. Entrepreneurs are made and are trained to produce results. Entrepreneurs don't take excuses. And most importantly, entrepreneurs believe in idea meritocracy. One of the things that has set our country back is because we don't have meritocratic systems. We don't have a system that rewards efforts and talent. We only have one that empowers individuals who only know other people in positions of power. If you build an economy on such a foundation, you would have all your talents running away to other countries where they are seen to be worthwhile.
I say what car sama mana me de na me kire mu. Unse ye man ya yetimu yi. Se ubenye edwuma a ati se woni mu bi. Ubekọ weni mu man we mu a ati se woni mu bi. Bibi bia obeye bia ati se kusi obi so, na obi afro obi, na obi a trokrat ansa na won saka de wo hwehwe. E no person kire se ye bu ye man ne sa ye ho be kire ye. MPP ba sa MPP for kwa ne didi NDC for ba sa NDC for kwa ne didi ye bu ye man ne sa ye ho be kire ye. We see a chichire o man no in such a way say me meti we me ye worda me dwuma so eni a e wo so man ne timi bɔ ma ba so ne me dwuma ne timi kɔ so e wo mra me ni mo bia sa no pese o kire me say the new force nyame boa yenya 2028 and 2028.
And that is what we are seeing currently with millions of Ghanaian youth traveling to America, the United Kingdom, Canada, and even Kuwait and Qatar. If we don't get a leader who believes in talent and creates a system that rewards efforts and talent, we can never be like Singapore, because the entire nation of Singapore is built on meritocracy. In terms of the issue of unemployment, poverty, and social mobility, you still need people who think innovatively. You see, whenever you are faced with challenges, it is your ability to think in a complex fashion that will guarantee whether you can have an escape. I have said in many occasions on multiple platforms that ours is a complex situation, and complex situations and problems require complex solutions. Entrepreneurs think in complex fashion, but first, they have been trained and they've gained the experience to think from first principles. And what that means is that they look at the subject from the base. They look at the subject from the very foundation. What is the cause? Why is this happening? As to why did we get to this problem in the first place? What are the roots of the problem? And how can we alleviate or annihilate these issues for good instead of what is the problem? This is how entrepreneurs.
Mimia, what can say you have a many auntie? Who said politicians are two of them on bad? Almost share a deal how they hire. Ebia, ye means you. Now waka, na mamunsu. But bisa the entire moon means you. Asema branch ene can edi. Esu say, okay, offer ye needs you, your member monsieur. Offer ye needs you, adenti na moon means you. Example. Simu nsutene, adenti na nsutene wo na moon means you. They go to the underlying factors are air cause problem, no, not the problem itself. Hey, this me a camp profit. Omo de or how no buy no. Me can say entrepreneurs and I say omo e dwini kon kan no. Omo ko or how ne chi. They will be or how ne fi ba ya kusi e kwa. Ansa ne aba be you or how ne fi ho. Esan say yam politicians no de omo ye ne say ye ba ne you or how ne fi ho. Esan say they be or how ne fi ba no nsi say kwan ne ti no. Na still or how for frasa den e pie fi wa ba say ase de dia wote no eduane a wudi no wudi na wo yemetu wo yemutu a na akoto eduru no ano na wo yem na etu ne jai na wasa akodi eduane fro na wo yem asa etu saa na ye ma na ye hia de obetu o haw na se enye de obebrabro haw no so.
Entrepreneurs think. And this is the foundation of innovative and inventive thinking. This is also the foundation of capitalism. You see, what people mean when they say capitalism is moving capital or resources to people who are more inventive. When resources get into the hands of people who are more inventive, they create the jobs out of the inventions. They create the opportunities out of the innovations. They make good use of the little resources that they have. And then the entire economy benefits. If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these exceptionally talented people at the helm of affairs in your government, you are guaranteed development. You are guaranteed growth. And of course, it has to move simultaneously with systems like the blockchain system that prevents people from being corrupt or engaging in corrupt activities.
With me see her, na ma chere. Oka bibi. Enye nsemi na met ma chere asie yi. Ba me bono tofa no wate asie. Oka bibi e friend of blockchain system. Blockchain system no oka no. Se mate bibi e friend no crypto. Ye wo mo different types. Eno no said that the next year ni minister. Abai na ma me 2 cities. And I made a cotton chalk. E dey akoma school. Ebe ko blockchain system ni mo. Na sa blockchain system na akomu no. Se aban fufuro bi ba, se dey ayesi no, aban fufuro bi ba na amanfo o hye nkrata, na amanfo yi din bi yes dey bi. We know a system. Se me boshe mu se Kofi Edu Minister of Education example. Ye ma me 2 city ma me dey cotton chalk. And I made a in Kranza SHS. Sabai fufuro bi ba na man koto chok na me disikana. Minti min ko system ni minti enko yi sa account ni free mu. Na sa blockchain system is there tell say obi biara opese ohwehwe de me disikana ye bia okọ a obehu. Untimi yin free mu. Enti ebema sikedi no so atwa. Sebe esu betwe sanse wudi ebechewo. Enti the best thing is say we ni beso wat etua no wayi wadwuma pepepe. Mimi I won't pay we open there.
It has to go in tandem with national ID and integrated address system, as I addressed yesterday. It has to go with the implementation of proper titling system such that people can have titles to properties that they have paid money for, and then they can use these properties as collateral to access credit and capital. This is how nations are built. We are a nation that have misguided and misplaced priorities. The entire citizenry does not know what it wants. The leaders do not know what to do. And in fact, the leaders have taken advantage of the ignorance and the illusion, as it were, of the citizenry. We have money coming into our hands every year. We have loans and grants coming into our hands. We have some foreign direct investments. We have some foreign institutional investments. But all these funds are grossly misappropriated. We don't put them into ventures and projects that can create returns and value that are enough to service the debt, that are enough to create sustainable growth and development, which will be beneficial to the entire Ghanaian populace. It is a big problem.
Asemo mo a mote brofo ne de mote de kana se na me kire mo ama me nua no mo a ente brofo no de abrante ne kana ya sesem ha o sika e ba man mu na ye sika no troka timemfo no ye nim de epe esan se o mehu se sebe nkwa na make no ya adwen dodo na adwen wo fom nti omo so hu se nipa na adwen wo fom politicians so take advantage na omo de ye de omo pe na politician na so na say oni bi oba be ye we bie na no keke 24-hour economy VSHS waka no troka obey ye 24-hour economy ade esa mo nkoda 24-hour economy na we Mumi ntia se NDC na NPP omo bo man we na munyi otan hunu na amode tan na kwa mebedi akono ena minim no oni suban dia na waye nso a muntimi nka de papa na ye sa otan hunu mumi nyi fio na 2028 yenso ne hwe yenso no hwe te Akufo Addo oye tipen oba na wanya nyoma yi a yebetima kan.
I don't know when we can solve this, but whenever we are ready, the world is ready. How do we make government processes and government business more entrepreneurial, more value focused, more profit focused? It starts with meritocracy. You see, if people do not qualify for the positions they are given, they do not see what they are holding. They are unable to appreciate the value that they are supposed to give. This is where the problem starts from. Even before we begin to think of whether or not this position requires an entrepreneur to fill it up or a businessman to fill it up, it really starts from who is qualified, who truly deserves to be there. Then we can think of how to create value, how to maximize profit for the benefit of the people. But like I said earlier, you need innovative minds. They can be lawyers, but may be very innovative. They can be medical doctors, but may be very innovative. There has been a lot of academics who have created so much value that the world has benefited, even though people in academia are not seen to be profit-oriented or business-oriented. So it really depends on what type of position it is, what type of leadership it is, and what the role requires, and what type of value we are looking for in that particular space. In terms of making this economy sustainable, we need to take our debt situation seriously. You see, and I'll go back again. This is why you need an entrepreneur. This is why you need a businessman. Businessmen are not afraid of debt. They understand that debt is amoral. It is neither good nor bad. What makes debt good or bad is what you decide to use the debt for.
Waka bebree na me bɔ no tɔfa kakra asa aka ho a ɔse obi a odi dwa onsuro ka ɛsiane sɛ obi a odi dwa biara no onim sɛ ɛka ɛyɛ ade a ɛbɛtumi ayɛ ɔhaw ɛbɛtumi ayɛ mfasoɔ ne nyinaa ne kwan a wɔbɛfa so akurakura no hwɛ sɛ mentwa mo ano a yɛn na yɛbɛdi adanseɛ sɛ mmerɛ Akufoɔ bɛtena so no na Ghana yɛn wɔ kam kakra ba wɔn sɛ ɛsiane sɛ na Akufoɔ sɛbe ne background kakra ɛfa business ho ne nti no mobɛkae sɛdeɛ banks yi afɛdubere bi ne yɛ samaa yi mommɛgye besia o wokae nso ne yɛwɔ kam o bɔbaeɛ no nneɛma bi sesaeɛ saa na yɛkyerɛw sɛ wei Nana Kwame Bediako no ɔyɛ businessman more successful than Kufuor. Yɛto aba no ɛma na yɛde ka deɛ but obetumi adane ani ama ɛka no abɛyɛ mfasodeɛ. What I say saa deɛ? Thank you.
Another thing, I have grown to learn that we have a leadership that does not understand scaling metrics. And what this means is whatever notional value of debt that you borrow creates an economic interdependence that is just sitting on the edge for the next catastrophic event. It's like structural engineering gone wrong. It's like a small crack in a lofty building. It's just a matter of time and the entire 25th floor collapses. That is how we should think. Scaling metrics. The decision is simple. The decision is little, but the effect it can have on the entire economy can be cataclysmic. If you borrow even $1 million for the entire nation, and you don't have a plan of what to use the money for to create returns and pay back the loan, that is that small crack lurking somewhere in the building. And it's just a matter of time. This is what our leaders don't understand.
Video no wa babane mo besi a de oka yi na ne se akakra yi ne se besia bo wo yi wo besia na wa sebe wan fa nimdie anka ho a se de mu si abrosan eto aso be fanse du na usi no mfonso ketewa bi aba bebi na obu weni gu so asase no edan ne si ho ebe o so wewie na mum saa mfonso ketewa na na se edem kakra na aba edan no ho no dako ɛbɛma ɛdan no nyinaa adwiri saa na bɛsi abɔ ɛte eti na wahwɛ mu a obi a ɔyɛ business man papa biara no ansa na ɔbɛbɛ besia no wonim deɛ ɔde sika no ɛkɔ akɔyɛ ɛna onim mfasoɔ dodo ɛbɛba so ɛna onim sɛ wei si koraa no a bɛtumi ewura ha na matu sika no akɔtua besia no yɛn politicians na ɛnyɛ saa deɛ ɔmo nim ara sɛ yɛn kɔgye ne yɛn bɛkyɛ ne yɛn ni wobɛkae the phrase create loot and share si yɛhyehyɛ adwuma ne yɛdi sɛ adwuma no wie sika ne yɛakyɛ sika no saa ne mpanimfoɔ dodoɔ no ate video no ɛnwa saa but mempɛ sɛ mɛsɛe mo mmerɛ but deɛ meka ne sɛ the new force ɛnidaso aba